We can just AI me doing this, right? Today we have a very special guest. This man has done almost everything under the sun that you can imagine. He's an actor, stuntman, former UFC fighter. He is a champion everywhere he goes in wrestling. Today we got Mitch Clarke coming in.
Hi.
Hi everybody. So Mitch, what are we doing today for our workout?
Today is chest and biceps. I didn't want to destroy your legs before your big weekend, so yeah. So a lot of this is like I'm in a hypertrophy phase for my workouts right now. So less strength focused and more on kind of like a higher volume style with less focus on like just destroying the joints. Focus on really just get as much maximum blood flow in that area by hitting a bunch of different angles. So it should be fun.
Lovely. So he's gonna pump up my chest, pump up my biceps, make me look good for the weekend.
That's fun.
Let's get after it.
Part of the warm-up, as opposed to like just like crushing the weights, we're working on the antagonist muscles that really like keep that safe, because like as much as we're crushing the chest, we want to make sure that the auxiliary muscles are still really helping and not compromised as well, because we always just focus on like, well, chest, okay, my triceps, delts. But it's like the rear delts are really helping with that shoulder girdle just to really make it stay safe and keep it in that crappy labrum, you know what I mean? Grappling, wrestling, like not pro wrestling, but like collegiate wrestling, that kind of thing is like super hard on my shoulders. And like I had to start kind of changing my style because it was like so hard. And I have like really long arms. So like it's really easy to just reach and grab stuff, but when you're in this like extended position, it's not really great. So, you know, like I've had a couple dislocations, they're terrible. Knowing a lot about what I want to do is like keep it safe, realize it's a very articulate joint, but also it's unstable because of that. Yeah. I attack these a little bit differently lately, because like instead of like, I used to be a meathead, just like push back, push back, push back. And really I'm really focusing on that movement of the scapular joint.
Yeah, get the shoulder moving rather than just move it with your arms.
And I find I get more on the rear delt, especially at the end where I'm kind of like rotating this down. So like not even very much weight, but just into here and just kind of like, and like a lot of this focus has been on like really high rep ranges of just keeping my joints safe, but I feel like I get a lot more out of it.
Do you have a specific rep range for this one, or is it just kind of go until you feel good?
Usually between 16 and like 20. Feels bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah. 16 to 20, I didn't even know you could do that many reps of things.
I know, but unfortunately that hypertrophy range is just like anywhere between 6 and 25.
See, that's why I stay at 6. That's why we do things like this, to do something different and force me to do 20 reps of bullshit.
Like for me, a lot of this is like trying to stay out of my traps. So like I can just go like this. Yeah. So it's like why I really just focus on my sternum making contact into here. And like I like stay into here. I'm just like really protracting that scapulus down.
Clearly you know your shit from years of athletics, hey?
Yeah, it helps. In university, taking a lot of like, because I have a phys ed degree, so it does help. You do a lot of like basic, most of the kin program, minus the super in-depth anatomy, which is with cadavers and yucky.
It's pretty yucky.
You know, even before that, because it was something I was super interested in, you learn about why things work or what causes the best stimulus. Like Dorian Yates is a great example of that, is where he talked about before he started really working out, is that he did a lot of reading. And I'm old, so finding books and stuff like that and understanding kind of like what motions work best makes a big difference, I think. Success leaves clues. If I'm looking to like improve on like the hypertrophy phase, I'm not gonna be looking at like a sprinter's workout, those types of things, which is great, but it doesn't set my goal. So for me, like I think of what kind of era do I like, kind of how their physiques are. And I think a golden age, you know what I mean? Like if we're thinking pecs, we obviously always think of Arnold, Franco Columbu, Serge Dubray, where they had like the nice big round booby kind of thing going on. You know?
Big titties.
Yeah, like Serge Dubray, I was just reading some stuff on him. He would do 40 sets of bench press, so super high volume. We're obviously not doing that today. Focusing more on like that pump and like the stretch of the muscle itself and full range of motion, I find makes a big difference, which is like we're going into our pec deck. Let's start low for weight. where I think I want my hands kind of into here. So when I'm coming in, I almost think about like when we do low cable flies, right? This motion, because it kind of hits up even from the sternal or clavicular attachment points, you hit kind of everything in there in this motion, as opposed to just like bear hugs. I get really good at hugging, but from this, I really want to think about like hitting as much of that connective tissue as possible.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do this 2 ways. So the first way we'll do 3 sets of, and the other one we'll do probably 2 of. From in here, like I think that's a nice stretch.
Cut. Yeah. Cut that.
Start in that nice stretch position right in here, just like this, and then just kind of coming up and in.
Nice.
But once again, we're really focusing on like that higher rep range.
Using big terms like sternoclavicular hasn't been on these videos yet, so you might need subtitles for those who don't know these.
Middle chest, top chest.
I'm just hoping I can't keep up with everything you say, so.
Part of the ADHD superpower is just hyper focus. Unfortunately, it's always for stuff that doesn't make me any money. Like a lot of the time too is like as I'm trying to like really get more feel, so to speak, I let go of my grip and I just let my palms do the work, because I find, number one, with a bad elbow, when we grip, it changes our focus points, so.
And 20 again, eh?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know.
You're gonna make me look dumb and weak.
I think that's the fun thing about this, is there's no real wrong answers. Like everyone's it's easy to overcomplicate or even like posture over top. And it's like, we're lifting heavy things and we're putting them down.
That's probably the funniest thing I find about online training, coaching, social media, you know, it's the loudest, goofiest methods tend to get the most attention, but it's like, it all works.
Yeah, and the thing is, everyone's different.
Everyone likes different stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's focus is different, and like that's a fun thing about like doing it in phases, strength phase, those types of things.
What's changed the most in your approach to working out and everything since the fight career, transitioning into like wrestling and stunt work and all of that? Like, how do you find that that's
a big part of that is like, unfortunately, like with fighting and those types of things, it wasn't necessarily always about how you looked. It's just about, you know, can you fight? Are you conditioned? Strength throughout the fight, that type of thing. So a big change is also realizing for film, for wrestling, for being 40 years old, you know what I mean? You just want to look jacked and sweet with your shirt off, right? So the big thing is just like taking care of the body, which, as we see the cupping marks, they get a lot purpler as they go up, and mobility. And it's terrible, but like, and I know it sounds maybe lame, Pilates have been really helpful for me. I can't do yoga, I just get bored so quickly, unfortunately. I think yoga's great.
I'm a yoga guy.
Yoga's great.
Like once a month.
Yeah, this is better than nothing, right? But for me, I can do a 20-minute Pilates video in my living room after I put my kid down for sleep and feel better, muscles moving a little bit easier, and still getting that strength and mobility patterns that I really want to hit.
Yeah.
So those are kind of like big things. Do these a little bit differently. So sorry. When I'm in here, as opposed to grabbing onto the handles, I'm actually gonna be like doing a palm grip up a little bit higher, and really focus on that stretch reflex.
Lovely.
And then also my body movement changes slightly. So you'll see what I mean. So instead, like I'm coming into here, and instead of like coming in that bear hug motion, I'm coming into here, and look at it like I have a slight back arch to really focus on the stretch of the pecs into here, and I'm coming in, and then I'm coming forward.
Like reaching forward.
Yeah, reaching forward. So you're also getting your serratus anterior, which is gonna help, like, number one, with shoulder mobility, but at the same time, it's also really focusing on really activating a little bit more of that clavicular attachment point for your upper chest.
Yeah, and that serratus is so important for shoulder stability too, right?
It's very forgotten, but it looks so good like when you have a developed one.
For those at home, this is your serratus. So you can make yourself look 10 times more jacked if you just do your serratus work.
Different, right?
Oh yeah, I feel that serratus even.
And like with like the pec fly, everyone like normally like assumes that it is just an isolation exercise of your pecs, right? It's a lot harder.
Holy shit! Yeah, that's way different.
What I like to think is like it ties everything all together. It, like, even though it's not like a bench where it's compounding, at the same time it's still like putting everything together and really think about that motion.
Ooh, buddy. Like, it's crazy how much you feel that serratus.
Yeah. At the top set is where I use a little bit more of those beyond failure measures, depending on my time frame that I have. Like if I have a 30-minute workout, all of them are going to be beyond failure, that high intensity, Mike Benser style training. But I feel like that top end is kind of like, if you're doing high volume, you can't do it every set because you'll be dead by 10 to 12 sets. We'll use some drop sets, maybe some force negatives, those types of things. Just
cool.
Make it feel good and terrible at the same time, right?
Do you ever go back into phases of like training like you were back in fighting, or is it just kind of strength, hypertrophy now?
Strength, hypertrophy, and kind of like explosive movements too, like is another thing. I don't do a ton of Olympic lifting. I feel like that's a more technical sport, to me at least.
Yeah.
My goal is explosivity on my hips and feet. I feel like there's other things I can do instead.
What kind of came first? Was it more like a love for collegiate wrestling, fighting, pro wrestling? Like, how'd you get started in this world?
I did Taekwondo and I boxed when I was younger, and then I went into wrestling and really fell in love with wrestling. And as I started going to university, bodybuilding became kind of like something that piqued my interest, but at the same time, like doing judo and wrestling. At that time, I probably wasn't gonna, you know, be a national champ, those type of things, and just short-sightedness. But Ultimate Fighter came on, went and signed up at a gym, got beat up, and kind of like really kind of got into it, and it seemed to really turn out well. And then just kind of like lucked out.
Oh my God, dude. So you saw the Ultimate Fighter, you started getting into that.
Well, I was like, oh, like Diego, Koscheck, those types of guys, like they were doing really well and winning. You're like, well, I wrestled, I can beat up some noobs, you know what I mean? and went to the gym and found that wasn't necessarily the case. And I think like for me, jiu-jitsu, grappling, those types of things, fighting itself it takes a really cerebral part of my brain to like understand why things work, how to do things. And like as someone that grew up with like undiagnosed ADHD until I was an adult, you kind of gravitate to things that kind of like quiet a lot of the noise that's in your head, because there's always that constant internal dialogue.
Oh my good God almighty, man. All right, good workout, we're done. See ya.
I think a really good aspect that kind of gets overlooked is the pre-exhausting method. It's easy, especially like not in a strength phase, to just be like, I'm gonna just blast heavy weights. But if I pre-exhaust these muscles beforehand, I'm not able to get those big lifts that I really want, because my body's already tired. It already has blood flow in there. The surrounding muscles feel good and safe, and those are kind of like the important things to me, is like staying safe, feeling good, all that jazz. We're supersetting this today with a fly variation that I like. Sorry, dude. So, yeah, we'll get warmed up.
You didn't hear that, thank God.
For me, the big thing is like realizing not to guillotine press everything. So it's like coming into here and just kind of like really following the outline of my chest has been a big thing of just staying in here and keeping that constant tension. The Jay Cutler thing of where you don't fully lock out. So like coming into here, really focus on that stretch, coming upward into here, and then coming back in, and then I finish on like a low style.
What the fuck? What's this fly variation called?
I don't know, something I saw Michael Israel's buddy doing, and I was like, oh, that seems easy. And then I start doing it, and like you see this massive jack dude with 15s, and you're like, I can't.
For the sake of today, we'll just call it the macho fly. Oh yeah. We can just AI me doing this, right? Okay, so no lockout, about 16 to 20, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, 20 of everything sucks.
I know.
So we're here.
Yeah, so Marcus rule style fly to start off with.
So down.
And then coming back up. Yeah.
Do you try to come up as far as you can?
Kind of like where I feel the edge of the pecs starting to stretch, and then that's when I come back down through the same motion into like a low, there we go.
My rotator's gonna love you.
You see the opposite muscles in here of this lat being able to press and stabilize as our pec is fully stretched out. So as much as this is partially isolation, in my opinion, it still works a lot of different muscles to really help work synergistically. And anytime where we have like a lot of good like scapular motion, as we're seeing like with this, that's pushing those lats out, that's a good sign.
There are a lot of snap, crackles, and pops on that one. I mean, the shoulders just love it, right? So when did pro wrestling come into your life?
Done high school, and like there was a Saskatoon pro wrestling show, it doesn't exist anymore, and like wanted to do that, and I got told I was too small because I was wrestling at 66 kilos. And then when I was done fighting, my whole mentality was like, I'm gonna do all the things I couldn't do when I was pro athlete. Taking baking classes, get a dog, do pro wrestling, scuba dive, like all this stuff. And I was like really lucky that, you know, I fell upon the camp that where we kind of started, and some good people like Phil Fawn, those types of things, and then just be able to build and expand. And I'm pretty lucky, to be honest.
When did you initially find Mr. Macho Madness, who changed your life for the better?
Oh, that's right.
To indoctrinate you into the wrestling cult.
Like I remember his like second WWF run where he used to wear like the full kind of like suit where before he won the title the second time. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I've never had a Slim Jim in my life. You know, we're a hot rod country. The character was so big, the wrestling was good, the persona was fun. So like that's really where like that connection really came from. Obviously, like I'm Canadian, so everyone loves Bret Hart. Like even when I got back into pro wrestling and kind of like started doing pro wrestling, I really focused on, well, who are the guys that really set themselves apart and made connections with the audience? And you know, you think of like Macho Man, ravishing Rick Rude, you know what I mean? Like a definite ends of the spectrum, but at the same time, like super character based and super like over in whatever respects they really needed to. So those are big things, and they were jacked.
As things have evolved, are there anybody else that you've kind of modeled yourself afterwards or watched a lot more of?
Yeah, I like watching a lot of like Japan stuff, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Sometimes characters are a little bit more less subtle, so to speak. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's really like taking pieces of what like you kind of connect to, or some like, I really like Lucha Underground, so there's some good aspects of that. Like very intertwined is theater, movies, and wrestling, in my opinion. Really, when it comes down to it, it's storytelling. The medium is a little bit different each time. It's why I watch a lot of older movies. It takes a lot of time to really build those characters and that connection to the audience. So like horror is a good example. So it's usually the fat friend, the fat funny friend. You want to have that connection with the character, and then when they die, inevitably, almost every horror movie, that you have a reaction because you're connected to them. So it's like taking that aspect I think is really important, of like whether you're a heel or a face, of like how is your connection with the crowd? What are you feeling off of them, and how do you give them more of what they need to feel that connection more?
Do I look 3 times bigger yet? So we still got to do this set. You know, you've been wrestling for 9, 10 years?
Almost 9 years, yeah. I should be better.
What are some of the things that you're most proud of in your wrestling career, and what are some matches that you feel really good about or you would recommend people watch of the marvelous Mitch Clarke here?
The rad stuff was super cool. That was a big thing for me. It was really authentic. The crowd really got into it because they could tell that we were enjoying ourselves. There's no fake bravado, and like obviously even as working as heels and that type of thing. The fun part was you're with your friends and you're doing fun things. Let's go. Up. Come on. Let's go. One more. Up. Come on. There we go.
Sorry to so rudely interrupt with my struggle.
You know, like kind of having a couple records, you know, like longest reigning MPW champ, BW Y Division champ, one of the longest title holders in RCW, first Triple Crown champ in Top Talent, you know, that's super cool. But realistically, for me, the gratifying things are like having my match with Tom Lawler in Top Talent. That was a big deal. Not a lot of people know this, but like before that match, I'd hurt my neck. I compressed 2 discs in my neck. And I was getting like really bad burners down my arm. So I went, before the match, the day before, I went and got an ultrasound to see what was wrong, because like stuff wasn't working, not able to sleep, these types of things. And you know, I have a match that I'd wanted for years. You know, meeting Tom Lawler at the Ultimate Fighter, we were hanging out, coaching together, and then it's kind of like come back and have a match against him was like a super big deal. especially because he was killing it, like MLW, all these different places, Japan. So just like getting that match, getting through that match, having a good match itself, and I'm really proud of that. And then next day I found out that I had compressed 2 discs and I couldn't do anything because basically he said like you could lose nerve function in your arm if you continue to do anything that's strenuous on your neck. So I'm really lucky. I rebounded from that injury quite well. I think a lot of it also comes down to like overcoming adversity. I had a match with MRB in LPW, and like I remember basically I couldn't lift my arm, so like the AC joint itself, it wasn't sitting in its right spot, so basically like a partial dislocation. So I couldn't raise my arm, but like we were like 12 minutes into a 30-minute match and getting through that, you know, having a good dance partner, so to speak, makes a big difference. Yeah. But I think a lot of it, some people can just quit, and I'm not a big fan of that. For me, showing resiliency, I think that's a strong part of why I've gotten to where I am. You've seen, I have a full home gym and everything there works fine. It's just nice to change it up, change the atmosphere. I'm kind of like, I raw dog my workouts in the sense of I don't have my phone on me most of the time. I don't have headphones on, kind of a psychopath mentality, but like, so the reason why I like the dip assist is I can really slow down on the way down on the eccentric and really work on that stretch. In my opinion, the dip is like the deadlift of the upper body. And I'm gonna actually like lean forward to really get that stretch.
Exciting. So again, 20-ish?
No, like this is one where I do go that 12
max?
to 15 of just really focusing on what feels good, what really gets those pecs firing. Who doesn't like a good booby pump?
I know I feel 7 times bigger right now. So, of the wrestlers that you haven't had an opportunity to get in there with, like who are some of the people that would be almost the indie dream match for you? And then who are some of the people that would be like the way pie in the sky dream matches?
Like Jonathan Grisham, I think is a very good, like just matchup wise. I'm a bit taller, but him having such a strong grappling background, kind of cool.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, and just that nice understanding of Zack Sabre Jr. would probably be that like pie in the sky one, just because he's such a tactician and really smart in terms of how he's able to take something like grappling that can be, to the layman, boring. To have another match with Tom Lawler, just because both of us have grown so much. I know his body's kind of like a little bit roughed up lately, so I think he had a hip surgery. Josh Barnett would be another one. He's someone I looked up to in fighting and then in wrestling. Ran his own promotion for several years. Real smart guy too. I think that those are big things. Those would probably be like really top up.
Oh, cool.
I think. As I get older, you realize the importance of just being grateful, not saying no to yourself. You know.
Oh yeah. Do you have anything that you're specifically aspiring to right now? Anything that you're working towards?
For me, I'd love to like wrestle in Japan. To be honest, when I was fighting, that was the goal: fight in Japan. Pride, Dream, Sengaku. Those were the pinnacles I wanted to go to. And the UFC kind of like cleared out all the competitors, unfortunately. Being in the top organization of sport was a bad thing for me, you know?
Of course.
But like, I think the culture is so cool, how they look at wrestling, look at fighting, all these different things. That would always ultimately be a goal, to go there. Have some feelers, we'll see where they go. If not, keep doing it till it's not fun anymore.
Cool. I think that's a lot of people's mentality in wrestling, especially independent wrestling. You know, it's just such a love for the game. So this is 3 drop sets, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
Come on. Nice.
So you've endeavored into a little bit of acting now.
Yeah.
Started off with a short film.
Yeah.
What was that one called again?
The Druid's Hand.
The Druid, right? That was really good.
Yeah, the Druid's Hand, and like the director of that, like he went on to do like Low Lives, which is on Crave and Tubi, you know what I mean? And I'm super happy for him. Mitch Oliver, he's good stuff. I got my action card for doing the movie Dark Match, you know, a pro wrestling movie, but really
Lots of local guys on that one.
Yeah, local guys on there. And then for me, meeting Jean Fournette, who's the stunt coordinator for that, but he's like, did the Immortals, he did tons of movies, and he kind of like hooked me up with a couple guys that train locally, and like that's transitioned to The Abandoned, Last of Us, a couple other like pilots and that kind of thing, and then some stuff that I've done recently but I can't really talk about until it's released. NDAs, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
the fact that you have to sign an NDA is pretty neat.
I know, right? And you know, just feeling really lucky, and I think a lot of that does come down to that new mentality of say yes to yourself, you know, take chances. Come on. Nice. Are the boobies good?
Come on, man, what are you doing?
So this is a new one. I'm grabbing my grip and I'm going to, like, number one, pull down on my scapula to open up the space in the AC joint. And I'm leaning forward and my feet are forward too.
That looks so yucky. I don't think I've bitched and complained this much in a while. It's like when you say you like hiking, but then you complain the entire way up the mountain. That's me. Oh look, he's finally starting to struggle.
Focusing more on flexing the muscle itself as we go, and especially at the top, as opposed to just like I'm pulling the weight. So let's see how this goes.
Seeing how everything else has felt like shit today, we're gonna start a little lighter.
I think it takes a lot to kind of like change your perspective depending on what your goals are, as opposed to like just lifting strong, be heavy, and instead of like really focus on that, like making sure that feels swelled with blood. Like, and even when I come up and I do that squeeze, I think about like that supination of my pinkies in.
Pinkies towards the shoulders,
Yeah.
right?
I focus on using a straight bar as opposed to a cambered bar because I find I don't get that squeeze that I want. If I supinate out, I have to come in here.
Yeah. Now, obviously in fighting, like you have to be really dialed in with nutrition, right?
Oh yeah. Well, especially like in 155 was so tough.
It's like naturally you kind of probably sit more towards like 190, I would assume?
Yeah, that's like between 185, 190 walking around.
Yeah.
So you diet down, you get super shredded and hate your life,
Yeah.
and then cut the remaining 15 to 22 pounds.
What did that diet look like?
Depending on how much time I had to fight camp, and the other thing is like timing was everything of my nutrition to fuel workouts, to recover from workouts. Like having nutritionists on staff was a big deal for me. Only know so much. And like when you have weight cut brain, you are useless. So being able to pass it off and give it to someone else that is more.
You don't even have to think about the meals. It's just like, this is what you need. They get it in there.
This is how much, you weigh it, you do it, all that other stuff. So
yeah.
And then as seen like in your videos and stuff like that, a big thing, unless you are tracking your calories, you are way too many carbs. No clue what you're doing. You know, like
it's insane.
There's been days where I'm like, yeah, I've probably hit all my protein goals and those types of things. I'm like 120 grams of protein. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh yeah, you.
Sorry, dude.
Don't be sorry for making it heavier. What does your nutrition look like now, and like what are your main focuses that way?
For me, is like, especially during this hypertrophic phase, of really focusing on making sure I am getting enough protein. That's been a big thing, and then trying to like incorporate whole foods, those types of things has been super important. Fiber and timing of fiber and those types of things, controlling insulin spikes. I usually go by the hand method, right? Fist for protein, handful for veggies, pack of cards, so to speak, of carbs, depending on what it is.
Get those cupping marks nice and red.
Push that blood out.
Yeah, let's go. You got it. You don't need any help.
More.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Get that pumpski. Oh, I don't get it. Holy fuck, man. That's a pumpski. Oh, hotter than the sand, bigger than the ocean, baby. All right, that was Mitch Clarke's bicep and chest workout, and holy crap, do I have a pump on. Thank you so much for that, Mitch.
No problem.
Some brand new things I've never done before. We were just chatting off camera about how it's good to add in variability into your workout, hey?
Oh, totally. I think the longer you do this, you want to keep certain things fresh. It doesn't have to be every week. It's not conjugate. But the same thing is like, well, we've all done flies since we started, but how do we do them a little bit differently to change our focus, have fun with it, keep it interesting? And like, everyone's different, and having fun, I think, is part of what keeps you coming back.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Mitch. Appreciate you. Where can people follow you online?
Mitch Clarke MMA on Instagram and Facebook, and then IMDb. I know there's like 7 different Mitch Clarkes in the sense of all my credits are all spread out through there. So,
oh no.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gotta get them amalgamated.
I'm trying. I just don't want to spend the money on the pro.
That's fair. That's fair.
Watch Dark Match. I know they have copies at Walmart, and the Lobby in Edmonton.
Oh, there we go. The Lobby.
Check out the Lobby, the last rental store. You know what I mean? It's cool. And that. Check out your next wrestling show. You'll see one of us there.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Mitch Clarke for joining us today on the Pro Wrestling Workout Series. We'll be back at it here again soon. If you need more help with your health and fitness, I got a number of free resources just for you down in the description of this video. We got a fast food guide, we got a free 6-week program. Until next time, guys, we'll see ya later. And shit, I almost forgot. YouTube thinks that this video is going to be the best one for you, so make sure you check that out and subscribe to the channel for more.